Jeremy Clarkson calling out a fake story. This is strange given Clarkson is a founder of drivertribe.com. A bit of guerrilla marketing for season 2 of Clarkson's Farm. Very plausible. Equally plausible that it's a bit for the show. Someone snapped a pic. The news ran with it, and now it's more of a leaked segment than anything. It's also important to note that Driver Tribe didn't actually break the story. It was a different news site. I can imagine some employee seeing it, sharing it, and then getting a call from the boss. But it also wouldn't be the first time that actual protesters did a thing to him involving mania. Lastly, police today confirmed that they took no action because it was a joke filmed for the TV show. It's an Ant and Dec bit, to be clear. Nothing to do with TGT or Clarkson's Farm. I always read TGT as Top Gear 2. Always has been. Top Gear 2, Electric Caraloo. Totally plausible. I've heard good things about Clarkson's Farm, but truthfully I haven't watched any of the Top Gear guys since the late 2000s. It started to get too obviously scripted for my tastes. Clarkson's Farm is an easy 8/10 if you're an old school Top Gear fan. All the charm, significantly less script. In that vein, James May in Japan also worth a watch. I'm not supposed to eat it, Sumamasin. Hey Bim, guess what? Hey Bim, guess what? I found it exactly as scripted as Top Gear. His choice of tractor is a great example of a running joke he's been doing forever. I love just about everything he has done though, and how the world reacts to his on-screen character. Totally agree. The Lambo tractor was defo for the cams bit. That said, is it ridiculous to think that JC the human vs JC the character would genuinely want a giant tractor? I would kindly direct you to the Chelsea victory in Porto this summer. I feel like Wolv done something similar, cams or not. The Lambo tractor was hilarious and constantly came back to bite him in the ass. Wonderful TV. But my favorite part of the show was the 20-something-year-old kid who actually knows how to farm. I think having everyone from his girlfriend to the real farmer he hired to help him calling it out for being stupid was nice. Again, that's sort of typical. But you really got to appreciate all the ways that it was dumb over the course of the season, in a way you wouldn't normally in his other shows. And unlike much of the other shows, he was subject to much more that was beyond his control. They didn't script the pandemic. They didn't script crop destroying rains. His discussions of those things and their impact on farmers and ultimately all of us was really good content that we really appreciated. One of the better shows we've watched over the last couple years. I enjoyed it. I genuinely think placing him as the bumbling idiot in charge was exactly the point. Farming is hard work and takes a lot of capital and knowledge and luck. Most watched it as Top Gear fans. And yes, it satisfied a need for many, but about a quarter of the way through I began to look at it from a conservationist standpoint. Seeing him bubble and fail, and win, then fail again. Farmers do that year in and year out, and I came away with a greater understanding and sympathy for them. James May in Japan was an excellent series. I adore James May and I love Japan. But somehow I'm terrified if I can handle the delightful cringe of combining the two. Are good to know about James May. Loved Clarkson's Farm. Will have to give the May show a try while waiting for S2 of the first. Genuinely made me like Clarkson. You see the human side of him. Lady Petrol as a description for Prosecco will always stay with me. Both Clarkson's Farm and May's Japan shows are great. I couldn't make it through Hammond's Island survival/science show though cause that one was way overly scripted. The perm. Are they all doing their own thing now? I watched TG until the fracas and never picked up the Grand Tour. Where is James streaming? I always waffle on who was my favorite, but I feel like I would enjoy a beer with James the most. I really enjoy TGT. Definitely a continuation of the trio's antics. The last episode in front of an audience, before switching to specials only, was extremely touching. If you've been a long-time fan, because the BBC let them use Top Gear clips in their montage of the past 2 decades of the three performing together. James May I. Sumi Imanasan. Most of Grand Tour is worth a watch. Legit the only thing I think you can skip since they made the move to Amazon is The Great Escapists with Hammond and Belisi. When the news dropped I was hyped. Top Gear X Mythbusters? Yes. But it was so goddamn bland. They didn't even try. Worst part was that they really wanted to make you believe they're on an island, but they had infinite resources of everything. Like not even trying to hide it. Mythbusters itself did a way better job when they did the Duct Tape Island episode. But the escapist thing actually made me feel insulted. I grew up doing light farm work as a kid, so I enjoyed it immensely. You are missing out. Clarkson's farm is genuinely brilliant. Where can I watch it? Clarkson's farm is brilliant and not very scripted at all, none the least because COVID was unexpected when they started filming it. I think Farm and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, yes, he's the UK host of that, are Clarkson's pension fund. He's always played up his image, but now, some say, he's pretending to be nicer, but I think it's actually closer to his real character. He's like the anti-Stephen Fry and he'll be on the telly until he croaks. Yeah. He seemed to show genuine attachment to his sheep as well, and also had clear reservations about the less humane side of farming. I don't think it was an act. I think it's the first time he's really been confronted with a reality he's not experienced before. You should watch it. It's a cute show. With all his U-turns, I don't think it's that scripted. Just a dude with land and the money to do whatever he thinks of in that moment. That's the feeling I got anyway. Don't know anyone who has watched and didn't like that. Includes people who can't stand Clarkson. Really funny stuff, and he is 100% out of his depth working on Farm. Definitely worth a watch. That first Guardian review was hilarious. Clarkson's farm seems like it started out as him being a buffoon and just fucking around like an idiot farming Top Gear style, but then it seems like he really started enjoying it and pivoted to being a serious farmer after a few episodes, and now he spends all his free time lobbying on behalf of farmers. As others have said, Clarkson's farm is excellent. It's eye-opening and in many ways heartwarming. I think if you have some interest in farming, even at the most basic level, you will enjoy it. I was shocked at how good it was. Oh man, you should watch the Grand Tour. Yeah, it's scripted, but it's basically Top Gear with 5x the budget. Probably the most surprising part is every time Clarkson starts bowling over a dead sheep. He honestly seemed unprepared for that part of farm life. Honestly, I think it's Clarkson at his best in a long while. It's a lot more like older Top Gear. Top Gear has always been scripted, and I'm sure that Clarkson's farm is just as much so. The things that irritate me about most recent Top Gear is them turning the characters up to 11, that is, floodicizing. This takes that back a notch. Too bad. You've missed out on every single one of their best specials then. Both from Top Gear and the Grand Tour. Oh well. Clarkson's farm is absolutely great. Might rewatch. It's only gotten better. As someone who agrees with you about the decline of TG, JC's farm has its moments of idiocy, but on the whole well worth a watch. God, you could be right. You just can't trust anything anymore. Don't you mean the Caleb show? I think that's why he said you have my number. Call me before running things like this. Yeah, I think he asked the guys at Driver Tribe to call him on his telephone before posting such stories because they have a pre-existing professional relationship. Indeed. He requested that Drive Tribe in future contact him directly before running stories about him because of his status with them. Okay. Now someone else find another way to say the exact same thing. Yeah, but May is the only one who really seems to have much to do with it these days. Still though, if nothing else, they already have his number so can get his side of the story and maybe better photos/CCTV, etc. Basic journalism. Fatter why he say oh you have my number. The other reply might be right. I see a lot of marketing hype going around for his show's second season, so this is just a hype carriage on the hype train. I have a feeling this was a bit of a spoof for marketing purposes. He wouldn't mind anyway as he's such a fun guy. Why did I laugh? But, doesn't he own Drive Tribe? My first thought, I was under the impression it was founded by the trio. I think that's the reason for the tweet. It was a case of either Jeremy Clarkson calls out their mistake ASAP or Jeremy gets dogpiled for his company making what is essentially fake news that drums up sympathy for himself. That, and as he said, his own company should have sent him a text first before they ran the story. Someone's gonna get fired. If people actually got fired over this kind of shit, clickbait would disappear overnight. He is one of the founders of that site. I'd make sure heads roll if it was a site I owned writing a story about me before confirming with me. Jeremy's career is built off of exaggerations at best, complete bullshit at worst, so maybe he shouldn't be surprised if his own company follows the same playbook. I don't know much about him, but I have had the misfortune of seeing some of his most controversial comments related to Formula 1 on Twitter before he deletes them, and I really cannot disagree with this statement. So what's the real story? He wasn't actually shocked. It was a prank by Ant and Deck. He probably was shocked at first though. Looking at how his whole farm thing went, I feel he would even welcome the free compost moo. Fucking love Clarkson. He literally owns Driver Tribe, meaning he set this up. I'm so confused. Must be embarrassing to have the founder of your company publicly call you out on Twitter. Fucking hammock. Hammond, you tiny man, where's the Lambo Chevy? I really enjoyed watching Clarkson's farm. I was really hoping this would go. Driver Tribe. Protesters dump mushroom compost on Clarkson's Range Rover. Clarkson. It's bullshit. Driver Tribe. Protesters dump manure on Clarkson's Range Rover. Damn you. Clarkson. Why did you have to use bullocks? The irony of Jeremy Clarkson calling a story fake.